Hey sis, I know it's been over 3 years since we last spoke, but I need a favor, so I'm just gonna come right out with it. You absolutely must come to mine and Valentino's wedding. Huh? Cassia, is that you? I'll send you the details later on, but for now, it's gonna be held at the Velvet Unicorn Hotel in Washington. I don't know your address, so just think of these messages as your wedding invite, okay? Why the heck would I come to your wedding, Cassia? This makes no sense. You seem to be forgetting that Valentino is my ex-husband. Why would I go to the wedding of the scumbag who cheated on me and watch him get married to the woman he cheated on me with? I'd rather have nothing to do with either of you for as long as I live, thanks. Honestly, how is it even possible that you think this is an acceptable thing to ask me? Are you doing it on purpose to try and upset me, or are you actually this dumb? Blah, blah, blah. When are you gonna stop crying over spilled milk, sis? Forget all that and come to the wedding. No way. Quit being so selfish and be happy for your baby sister. I know you know Mom and Dad aren't coming, which means if you don't come, none of my family will be there to watch me get married. Would you really do that to me? Would ya? Sure, I know that. I just don't get why you think trying to play on the fact we happen to be sisters would get me to come to your wedding despite the fact that I clearly despise you. Well, you're my sister, so I'm obviously gonna mention that you're my sister. God, you're annoying. If you don't come, the seats in the area for my family will be totally empty, which means you are most definitely absolutely coming, and that's that. I won't take no for an answer, so quit arguing and accept it already. Why am I only part of your family when it suits you? Toodles! I see you're just as stubborn and arrogant as ever. I'd have to be out of my mind to go to your wedding. Indigo, what are you doing? Where are you? Hurry up and get your ass to the wedding. Me and Valentino were struggling to get enough family members to come as it is. The last thing we need is you going all no-show on us at the last minute. People are going to think both of our families hate us if you don't come and fill the seat we prepared for you. Look, sis, I'm serious. You have to come. Hurry up and get to this hotel now.
Oi, Indigo! Hey, I can see you read my message.
Oh, hey, Valentino. It's been a while.
I'm pleased to see you didn't block me. I know I might be your ex-husband, but that would just be childish.
Actually, I did have you blocked until Cassia started harping on me about how I had to attend your guys' wedding. I had a feeling you might try reaching out to me, so I unblocked you just in case. I could have just blocked you both, but I figured if I did that, she might start bugging my friends to try and track down my address or pull some other crazy shenanigans. I can assure you I'll be blocking you again as soon as I determine your insane fiancé poses no threat of causing a nuisance to my friends.
Threat? Don't be ridiculous. Anyway, forget that crap. All that matters is that we can message each other.
Did you want something?
Do I seriously have to spell it out? I think you know why I'm here. Me and Cassia are getting married today. We prepared you a seat in the family area, so if you don't come and fill it, we're gonna look stupid. This isn't the time for messing around, okay, Indigo? You owe this to your baby sister. I get that you're probably still not over me and that every day without me in your life must be a struggle, but that doesn't mean your baby sister deserves to get married without a single family member there to see it. Surely you can forget your petty jealousy and quit holding a grudge for just one day? This is supposed to be the happiest day of your sister's life, damn it!
2 corrections.
Huh?
Firstly, the idea that I'm still not over you is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. Far from every day without you being a struggle, I feel blessed that you're no longer a part of my life, and honestly, felt like vomiting when I saw you pop up in my inbox.
What?
Secondly, my sister only has herself to blame for the fact that I have no interest in being there for her wedding. Why would you ask me to come and play happy families after what you did to me? Me and her are essentially strangers now, so I'd be nothing more than an actress, and an unpaid one at that.
Huh? Strangers? How could you be strangers? You're sisters, for crying out loud.
You don't seem to understand what I'm saying, do you? Wait, didn't she tell you?
Quit talking crap and get your ass down to this wedding at once!
Indigo, how could you do this to me? You're horrible. All of the family seats at the wedding were empty. I could hear everyone whispering about me, and it's all your fault. Are you really bothering me with this again? Seriously? Who bails out of their beloved baby sister's wedding at the last minute? You're sick in the head. To think you were the only family member I invited, you're horrible. Huh? Baby sister? But I'm an only child. Huh? An only child? What are you talking about? Wow, you genuinely don't know, do you? At first I thought you were just being intentionally obtuse or were too stupid to understand what I was saying. But you really don't know, do you? Did Dad never say anything to you before he died? Are you going to make a point? Unless you're going to explain why you think it was acceptable to bail out of my wedding at the last minute, I'm not interested in listening to your rambling. Well, let me start from the end and save us both a bunch of time. We're not blood related. Huh? What the hell? What are you talking about? That can't be. Wow, they genuinely never told you anything, did they? Dad said he was going to tell you once you turned 20. Good grief. Explain now. Sure thing. Let me start by telling you this. You're Mom and Dad's real daughter, and I was adopted. Adopted? Mom and Dad were having trouble conceiving and were just about ready to give up on having children of their own when they came to the orphanage I lived at. After visiting me for a few weeks, they decided to adopt me. Then, 2 years later, as if by a miracle, Mom got pregnant with you. That's why Mom and Dad always had a tendency to play favorites with you while leaving me to my own devices and doing the bare minimum when it came to looking after me. So between that and the fact they kicked me out 10 years later as soon as I hit 18, I had the adoption scrapped and I officially became parentless. I haven't had a family ever since. Basically, I'm not your sister and I never really have been. You're not my sister? Didn't you think it was strange when I didn't go to Mom and Dad's funeral when they died 5 years ago? Your Mom and Dad, I should say. Like hell, I was going to mourn them when they barely even bothered to raise me. Any relationship I had with any of you, ended the moment I had the adoption scrapped on my 18th birthday. Ever since that day, me and you have been nothing but strangers, and that's how I intend to keep it. You have no idea how great it felt to know I'd never have to face the loneliness and isolation I suffered in that house with you all on the day I left. It was like this huge storm cloud that had been hanging over me evaporated in an instant. Oh my God! Which is why it felt like being punched in the gut when you suddenly showed up again that day 3 years ago declaring you'd stolen my husband before receiving the news Valentino was divorcing me. I spent every waking hour of the whole 4 months we spent going through the divorce proceedings wondering what I'd done to deserve it. My head was a mess, I was barely sleeping, I lost my appetite, and it felt like my entire world had been flip-turned upside down. Then, with the divorce over and done with, I finally pulled myself together again, determined to make the most of my fresh start. Now, 3 years later, at a point when I finally feel truly satisfied and fulfilled in my life, you show up out of the blue demanding I come to your wedding to pretend to be your sister so people don't think your family hates you. I thought Dad would have told you the truth on your 20th birthday, so when you first messaged me, I was like, what the hell? Why would she invite me as family when we're not even related? I came so close to blocking you right then and there, but I know what you're like, and I thought you might try to bug my friends to get through to me. But I didn't know we weren't related by blood. I thought you were my real sister. Yes, it would appear so. I have no idea why Dad didn't tell you like he said he would, and I guess we'll never know now. Unfortunately, that meant I had no choice but to tell you the truth myself. He's still causing me hassle from beyond the grave, huh? It's kind of ironic when you think about it. I can't blame you for not knowing, and I don't hold that part against you, but I hope you understand this means that me and you are done once and for all, Cassia. So, if we're not blood related... Right, your mom and dad were both only children, and none of your aunts and uncles are with us anymore. I guess if you really tried, I don't know, maybe by using one of those family history tracking sites or something, you could probably find a distant relative, but you'd still be total strangers, and I doubt they'd go out of their way to come to your wedding on such short notice just to fill a frickin' seat. Oh my God, you're right, I have no one! There isn't a soul left in the world I can call family! I have nothing further to say. We are done here. Indigo, no! Goodbye. Indigo, are you there? Where are you? I need to know where you are, like, right now. Huh? Why are you messaging me again? Listen, me and Valentino got a divorce. Jesus, seriously? But it's barely been a week since you got married. I know that, but all that jerk was after my mom and dad's inheritance money all along. What? I don't know why, but he was convinced I inherited a bunch of money when they died 5 years back. It's like he had this wild idea stuck in his head, and no matter how many times I tried to set the record straight, he just wouldn't let it go. It got so ridiculous, I thought he was joking. But why would he think that? They were never particularly well off. I mean, they weren't poor either, but we hardly lived in the kind of house that wealthy people live in, and there were certainly no Ferraris in the driveway. Right, they did say they had a little more financial freedom after they kicked you out, but still, we were just an average middle-income household. It's not like they suddenly got rich after you left or anything. Nothing changed, and yet that asshole was dead set on them being secret millionaires or something. Actually, there was some inheritance, but it wasn't much. Really? I see. But no matter how many times I told him, he wouldn't believe me. He was convinced I'd inherited a bunch of money. The day after we got married, he said he was buying a new house and a Lamborghini and demanded I give him the money. Can you believe it? I mean, talk about jumping the gun. It was like he had this whole extravagant plan mapped out in his head before we'd even been married 5 damn minutes. When I asked what the hell he was talking about, he yelled at me. I know how much you inherited from your parents. Quit being such a goddamn tightwad. When I told him I didn't inherit enough to buy the new house and car, he flipped out, and so we got into a huge fight, and well, to cut a long story short, we got a divorce. Wow. Anyway, so that's what happened, which is why I was thinking of coming over to your place to live with you. Wow, are you kidding? There's no way that's gonna happen. I mean, it's literally impossible. Why? Oh, nothing's impossible if you try, Indigo. We're both totally alone now, right? It's not like we'd be staying together as sisters or anything. Just think of it as a room share type arrangement. Go on, sis. You know how convenient it would be. We could even start splitting the bills once I start making some money. That's not why it's impossible. It's impossible because I'm not in America anymore. Huh? I came to Malaysia on a work transfer. Initially, it was only supposed to be a 5-year stay. But I met a guy here. One thing led to another, and, well, we fell in love. I converted to Islam, and now we have 3 kids together. I'm gonna be in Malaysia for the rest of my life, Cassia. Oh my god, what the hell? No way! I don't know why I'm telling you this, but I ended up crazy sleep-deprived after dealing with your messages when you woke me up in the middle of the night on the day of your wedding. Time zones can be a bitch. Oh my god, so you don't even live here anymore? Oh, this is bad, bad, bad. But this means I'm totally alone without a soul in the world to rely on. Oh my god, this sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach, what is it? I have no one to turn to, no one to lean on for support, no one I can even call a friend. Listen, Cassia, I'm not gonna pretend that doesn't totally suck for you, because it does. But even if I was still living in America, there's still no way I'd do a room share with you. Heck, you couldn't even pay me to. What? Why not? Do I seriously need to spell it out? Duh, I'm asking because I don't understand. I guess it's not such a surprise that someone with a tendency for destroying people's lives by stealing their husbands would also be totally lacking in self-awareness. Huh? What does that mean? Explaining it would be pointless. You have to think about this by yourself. Anyway, I think we're done here. We are? We're walking along different paths, Cassia. Shall we just call it a day here? There's nothing to be gained from dragging this out a second longer. But you're my big sister. No, I'm really not. Indigo! Goodbye, my ex-sister.
Indigo, are you there? Let's get married again. I've been doing some serious soul searching, and I think I'm ready to give things between us another shot. So what do you say, babe? Shall we reignite that old flame and dive back into our sweet love adventure together? You see, babe, life's just not the same without you by my side, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make things right between us. Me and Cassia got a divorce.
I live in Malaysia now, so I can't. Sorry.
Malaysia?
I'm here on a work transfer. I'm also married with 3 kids, so I'm probably going to be spending the rest of my life here, which is why the whole remarriage thing is going to be, difficult.
What? What the hell am I reading?
I heard about the divorce from Cassia, and I'm pretty sure I more or less know how it went down.
You did?
Yep. So I'm sorry, hon, but this ain't gonna happen how you thought it would.
Indigo!
Kindly never message me again for the rest of your life. Thanks. After that, I received a series of updates on the whole Cassia and Valentino situation from an old friend back in the States. Apparently, the whole thing started to disintegrate when Valentino quit his job, thinking he was set for life, having just married a woman in possession of lavish amounts of inheritance money. Of course, me and you know that money never existed, and it wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that hopelessly deluded serial cheater's world fell apart when he found out. Last I heard, he currently spends his days desperately looking for a job while the deadline on his overdue rent payments looms ever closer. As for my ex-sister Cassia, it turns out she was hoping Valentino would provide for her for the rest of her life, because she quit her job as soon as they started dating. Kinda ironic how they were both after each other for the same thing, huh? I heard from an old friend that they regularly bump into each other at the job center. And every time they do, security have to be called to separate their vicious fights, and more often than not, the cops end up being called. As my friend puts it, I don't see why they don't just stop being stubborn and go to a different job center. To be fair, she has a point. If they were genuinely done with each other, they'd stop, but I guess it really is like they say, misery loves company. These are just some of the philosophic musings I indulge in while reading my book, drinking my coffee, and eating scones out on the sun lounger in my backyard in the scorching Malaysian heat.
Oi, Pip, you goddamn useless moron, what do you think you're playing at? Just because you're my wife doesn't mean you get to act like this. Where the heck did you go?
Jesus Christ, Casey, when are you going to stop speaking to me like this? You have the charm of an octopus. I'm in my room, if you must know. I'm sorry, but I didn't make any supper tonight.
Huh? What did you just say? You mean I have to cook my own supper again? You left all your dirty pots in the sink this morning, too, didn't you? And that's not all. You don't even come to the front door to greet me when I get home from a long, exhausting day at work. What the hell kind of wife are you? You're a failure as a woman.
I'm really sorry, Casey. My stomach feels so heavy these days, and it's hard to move around.
Oh, look, here we go again, using the pregnancy as an excuse, just like you always do, huh?
I'm only 1 month out. Are you really gonna hold this against me? I don't see how this is my fault.
You treat pregnancy like it's a goddamn illness. So what, you got a baby inside you. Want a medal? Being pregnant is not an excuse to get out of fulfilling your womanly duties to me, the man of this house. What's it gonna take for you to understand?
I never said pregnancy was an illness, Casey, but at the same time, it can be pretty damn debilitating. I mean, I am twice the size I was 8 months ago.
How dare you? Do not answer me back. I'll get my sister to make me some supper over at my folks' house. You pathetic excuse for a wife.
Fine.
Fine? Fine. That is no way to talk to your husband and the man of this house. The correct response is, yes, sir, I'm sorry, sir. And don't you forget it. Not only have you completely stopped doing the housework ever since you got pregnant, you've also turned into such a goddamn lard ass it'd probably take a crane to get you out of the house. You're supposed to be my wife, but you don't even turn me on anymore. You think having my baby holed up in there gives you the right to treat me however you want, don't you? God damn, it really is true what they say. Women become the most arrogant creatures on earth the moment they get a bun in the oven. Damn, my buddies had always warned me, but I never thought I'd actually experience it for real. You make me sick.
Hey, Casey, how's my favorite big brother doing today? I just got done cooking breakfast. Do you want to head over and chow down?
Sup, Carla? You're the best. I was literally just about to message you to see if you had anything frying. Man, I'm starved.
I thought you might be. Damn. So that means she didn't make you any breakfast again? Pip is really slacking on her housework duties these days. It's just like you said.
No kidding. Looks like the lazy bitch finally washed the pots after she ate breakfast this morning and laid my work clothes ironed out and ready on the sofa after I called her out on her laziness yesterday. But I still ain't happy. That useless good-for-nothing didn't even polish my shoes. Can you believe she didn't even cook me any breakfast? Man, I don't even know why I married this woman. Imagine not even being able to do the basics.
Right? I don't know who she thinks she is. She must be one of those pregnant women who thinks the world should bend over backwards for her the moment the sperm hits the egg.
You know, Carla, I think you might be right. Damn it. All right, I'm gonna put my slacks on and head over. See you soon, sis.
All right, cool. I'll be waiting with your breakfast.
God damn it, are you serious? You didn't come to greet me when I came home from work again! What's all this crap on the living room floor? The house is a mess! And where's my supper? God damn, woman, my patience with you is about to reach its limits. You're walking on thin ice, I tell you. Thin ice.
Welcome home, Casey.
That ain't good enough. I want to see you rush over to greet me with a smile the second I walk through the front door. When I come home, it should be like God himself arrived.
I'm so sorry, Casey, but I really can't do everything like I used to before I got pregnant. I do as much of the housework as I can when I'm able to move, but a lot of the time, it's hard to even get out of bed. Won't you just give me a break, please?
God damn it. I'll have to head over to my folks' place again tonight for my sis to cook me supper. But don't think I'm letting you get away with this, woman. You're in trouble now. Big trouble. Hey, Carla. Sorry to trouble you so late again.
It's fine, silly. Besides, when did you ever apologize for anything? I had a feeling this would happen again, so I made enough food for a small army.
Now that's my sister. I sure as heck wish that goddamn useless wife of mine would learn a thing or two from you. If she took a leaf out of your book, I'd never go hungry again. At this rate, I'm worried if she'll even be able to do her job as a mom. If she can't make my supper, welcome me home from work, or massage my feet on time, how the hell is she gonna raise a kid? Not only that, but she turned into a big fat pig ever since she stopped doing housework. I swear she's always either on the sofa or in bed stuffing her face. I'm eating for two, she says. To what, whales? I get that women's bellies get a little bigger when they get pregnant, but hers looks like a frickin' hot air balloon. And not only that, but her belly ain't the only place the rolls are appearing. I'm worried we're gonna need a crane to move her soon. She used to be so hot, and her style was great. I mean, I liked the girl enough to want to marry her, for crying out loud. But now, I could take a truckload of Viagra and it still wouldn't get me in the mood for porking that ham beast. I have no choice. I'm gonna have to force her to start going to the gym after the baby's born.
Hey, Casey, just a little suggestion.
What is it?
Isn't it time you taught that unruly wife of yours a lesson?
Huh?
Isn't it time you showed her how sick and tired you are of her behavior with action instead of words? She obviously has no intention of doing what you tell her, so isn't it time you held her feet to the fire? She'll start thinking you're all bark and no bite if you don't back up the things you say.
Damn, I think you might be right. Did you have something in mind?
Well, I kinda did, actually. You're angry with her because she's constantly lazing around and barely lifts a finger around the house, right? So why not introduce penalties for her not doing her chores? You know, like forcing her to jog around the block for not vacuuming or forcing her to do 500 push-ups for not washing the dishes. I think you get the gist. Dad did always say a good training routine is the best way to keep a woman in check.
Oh my God. Carla, you're a genius! You know what? It's my day off work tomorrow, so I'm gonna go give her first little penalty right now. Thanks, sis. You're the best.
Huh? Like, right now? Casey, what is going on? This isn't fair. Why did you bundle me into the truck and dump me out here in the middle of nowhere? Why would you dump me out in the mountains like this? There are frickin' bears and mountain lions out here, and it's pitch black. I can't see a frickin' thing. You do know I'm 8 months pregnant, don't you?
I left you there precisely because I know, you goddamn bird brain.
Huh?
It might not feel like it, but I'm doing this out of love. I only want what's best for you, babe. You've turned into such a degenerate lard beast lately, you barely even deserve to be a mother anymore. I knew that if I didn't take drastic action, you'd reach the point of no return, and I'd have to leave you. It was either this or divorce. This is my way of redisciplining you as your husband and the master of the household.
Redisciplining me?
Now listen up. First of all, I want you to walk home from the top of that mountain.
What?
Quit acting like an invalid, babe. You used to be on the track and field team back in high school, and you could run with the best of them. If you can pluck up the courage to actually start moving, I'm sure this is going to be a walk in the park.
What are you talking about? Are you serious?
I'm as serious as a serious guy. Oh, and don't even think for 1 second about trying to call for help. I went out of my way to think of this training regimen, so you better not screw it up. If you call for help, we're getting a divorce. All right, I just got home. I'm waiting for you, babe. It's nice and warm, and I have potato chips. You can do this.
Oh my God, Casey. This isn't normal behavior. What the hell's gotten into you? I barely recognize you anymore. You are not the man I married.
Hey, Carla, good morning. Sorry to spring this on you again on such short notice, but you think maybe I could get some breakfast again this morning? I just woke up.
Sure, I guess I don't mind. By the way, where did you go last night? You bundled Pip into the truck and drove off somewhere after we stopped messaging, didn't you? I could see you from my bedroom window.
Yep, I took her somewhere isolated for a little training after your genius suggestion inspired me.
Wow, are you kidding? You went out literally straight after I sent the message? In the middle of the night?
Sure, of course I did. There's no time like the present. I told the worthless fat pig I was tossing her in the garbage where she belongs and abandoned her at the side of the road on the peak of the highest mountain in Colorado.
Wow. Now that's my brother, a man of his word. You have to respect a guy who's not afraid to take action.
Well, something had to be done. You know, the mountains are way further than I thought they were. You look on Google Maps and it's just a few centimeters of space. But when you actually go out and drive it for real, man, you have no idea how tired I was when I got back to the house at 3 a.m. I think I might have to go for a second round of sleep after breakfast. Hey, Pip, what the heck are you playing at? How have you still not made it home? How long do you think it's been since I dumped you on that mountain? I'll bet you're taking so long 'cause you get out of breath every 5 minutes from being so fat. Is that it? Or are you just being lazy? Gah, you really are useless. I should have given you a time limit. Is it too late to add one now? I mean, I make the rules, so I guess I could. All right, you have to make it back home in the next hour. If you go over, even by 1 second, I'll take you straight back up the mountain tomorrow, and you can redo it.
Casey, where are you right now?
Huh? A few of my buddies invited me out drinking, and we're out bar hopping in town right now. Why?
You need to get back to the house right now.
Can't it wait till tomorrow? I came out tonight fully intending to vent about my bitch wife while getting blackout drunk by knocking back copious amounts of beer with the boys until the early hours.
This isn't the time for that. You have to come home. Jeffrey Bigglesworth, the president of Dad's company, just stormed into our house with the most menacing look on his face.
Huh? Dad's company president? What the hell does he want?
Dad just got fired because you abandoned your heavily pregnant wife on a mountaintop in the middle of the night.
What? Why the hell would the president of Dad's company be involved in my and my wife's private affairs? This makes no sense.
I don't understand very well either, but the bottom line is you need to come home right now.
What the hell is going on there? Pip, what in the goddamn Lord's name is going on here? Why would you divorce me like this all of a sudden? I know our baby was born too, bitch. Why didn't you tell me? Why did I have to find out through ringing the hospital, goddamn ya?
Do you really still not understand why all of this is happening, Casey? Did Dad's CEO, Jeff's explanation, not clear up all the confusion, or do you need me to spell it out like you're a 6-year-old?
I understand why you might be slightly pissed off with me, but I have no idea why any of this means my dad would get fired.
Okay, allow me to explain exactly what happened that day. I reached out to an old friend for help after you abandoned me on that mountaintop in the middle of the night. Jeff, Dad's company president, is my friend's husband. They say every cloud has a silver lining, and he was mine. It turns out my friend and Jeff live pretty close to the mountain you dumped me on. They rushed out as quickly as they could when I told them what had happened. But while I was waiting, my water broke and I started going into labor. They rushed me to the maternity hospital as soon as they found me, and thankfully I made it in time.
Oh, crap. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. How come no one told me about any of this?
Because I asked my friend and your dad's boss not to say anything to you and requested that they contact no one except my family.
What? But why? I'm your husband. I should have been the first person you contacted.
Why would I contact you when you're the one who abandoned me on a mountain in the middle of the night while I was heavily pregnant in the name of discipline? I can't trust you, and quite frankly, the thought of allowing you anywhere near my baby is frankly quite terrifying. Like hell I was gonna let you be there for the birth.
Oh my God. But still, don't you think divorce is overdoing it a little? I mean, geez, talk about overreacting. Can't we just talk this through like mature, responsible adults before making hasty decisions in the heat of the moment? Don't throw away what we have.
Actually, Casey, you told me you'd divorce me if I asked anyone for help when you dumped me on the mountain, so I'm just following through on your promise. Congrats, you got what you wanted. I failed the task, and I am clearly still just as undisciplined as ever, right? I called my friend, so divorce is the only option.
No! Well, I didn't quite mean it like that.
Sure you did. I'm leaving the rest to my lawyer. If you have anything else to say to me from now on, it goes through him.
Your lawyer? No way! You've got to be kidding me!
I never want to see you, your sister, or your dad again for as long as I live.
But why?
You have the comprehension skills of a sack of potatoes. How do you still not get it?
Quit trying to be clever and just explain what you mean.
This is exactly the problem.
What is?
I won't be coming home again. I am taking our son, and we're going to live with my parents out in the country. I'll arrange for someone to come and pick up my belongings and bring them out to us. So make sure you don't touch any of my stuff. I want everything left exactly as it is.
Pip! Carla, you fool, what have you done? It looks like Pip is about to divorce me because of you.
What? Because of me?
If you didn't make that dumb suggestion to teach Pip a lesson by abandoning her on the top of a mountain, none of this crap would be happening.
Don't put words in my mouth, asshole. That is not what I said. All I did was suggest you start imposing minor penalties if she kept giving you problems by making her walk short distances to your house every now and then. I did not tell you to make her start from the top of a frickin' mountain in the middle of the night.
Well, those two things are pretty similar.
Bullshit, they couldn't be more different. Anyway, Dad got fired because of your moronic behavior. How are you gonna make this right, Casey? And how did Dad even get involved in this anyway?
Apparently, Dad's company president is Pip's friend's husband. The friend she called to pick her up from the mountain after I left her there.
What?
Dad was in full agreement on your suggestion to teach Pip a little lesson, right? That went for the whole mountain thing, too. He seemed to be on board with the idea, right? He knows how important it is to keep a bitch in line, and if he wanted to stop me, he coulda easily. He told me how he always used to shoot the shit with some of the guys at work about how modern men are becoming weak and have let women get out of control. He said it was time for society to take the red pill. The problem is Dad's company sells childcare supplies, and Jeff, the CEO, thought that if any of this got out, his company's image would totally be destroyed. Apparently, Dad had already been warned 7 times at work for making offensive remarks about women, and this was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Oh my God, seriously?
And he's not the only one. I got fired too. You see, Pip used to work at our company and she knows like half the staff. I think that might be why when I went back, everyone was super cold and hostile towards me. God damn it, what are you gonna do to fix this, Carla? What was I supposed to have done? I just wanted to discipline my wife, god damn it.
While me and Casey were married, I never had a mother-in-law. Apparently, his mom passed away when he was 8 from a terminal illness, and ever since, he and his sister were raised by their single dad. Based on the stories Casey told me, his mom sounded super kind, caring, and compassionate. I wonder if she hadn't fallen ill, whether things would have turned out differently between us. While thinking about the possibility in the back of my mind, I focused on getting the divorce proceedings over and done with, and within a month, I was once again newly single with a freshly deposited wad of compensation and child support money in my bank account. As for what happened to my ex-husband and his family after that, apparently all of them got laid off at the same time and are still struggling to find work. I got almost 2 identical messages the other day from Casey and his sister Carla, both begging for money in pathetic desperation. Needless to say, they weren't getting a cent out of me, so I requested they take all further contact through my lawyer before blocking them and taking another sip of my pumpkin latte. I'm thinking of changing my number soon too, just in case. Thanks for watching, folks. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to prove what a boss you are by liking and subscribing. Did you think Casey got what he deserved? We'd love to hear what you think in the comments. See you next time.
Yo, Vicky! Today's the day my work transfer finally ends. It's gonna suck so bad leaving you behind here. I never expected to meet anyone while I was out here, let alone us ending up pretty much living together. Life can surprise you like that sometimes, huh?
Tyrone, I'm gonna be lonely without you too, baby. Do you really have to go back to live with your wife? I know she's waiting for you, but I'd rather keep you all to myself.
Unfortunately, babe, yes I do. My boss told me I'd only be staying here for a year, and they want me back at HQ tomorrow, so there really ain't much I can do about it.
I see. I doubt we'll be able to see each other much once you go home. We will still be able to see each other sometimes, won't we, sweetie pie?
Listen, babe, it sucks for me too, but to tell you the absolute truth, I honestly don't know. If my work transfer ended up getting extended, my wife said she planned on selling the house in Wyoming and moving up here to live with me.
I see. Well, that reminds me, didn't you say your wife is a pharmacist? This is just a hunch, but I bet she wouldn't have to look very hard to find a job up here. The thing is, if she came here, we really would never be able to see each other. We'd constantly be tiptoeing around, worried about being found out.
Right, that's why I think it's best I just go home and carry on playing happy families just like normal. At least for the time being. Don't get me wrong, babe, it completely sucks that we're not going to be able to see each other, but we need to think carefully about how we play this and not do anything rash.
You're right. I can't argue with that.
Don't worry, Vicky. My heart's set on you and ain't nothing gonna change that. I know it's not gonna be easy for us to be apart, but I want you to believe in me. Can you do that?
Yeah, I can. I'm waiting for you, Tyrone. Hi, Tyrone, are you there? You're supposed to be getting back soon, right? Did your train leave on time?
Oh, it's you. Hi, Sarah. Yeah, I'm on the train as we speak. There were some delays early on. Apparently some suicidal lunatic jumped out onto the tracks and, well, yeah. Also, I'm gonna stop off at Company HQ to see Chris and the boss before heading home.
Damn, that's gruesome. I always wonder why suicidal folk do that. Like, could they not do it somewhere that doesn't mess with everyone's schedules and traumatize the train driver? All right, no problem. I can't believe the day has finally come. You were up in Michigan a whole year. How crazy is that? I know we've been doing lots of video calls, but is it weird I feel kind of nervous about seeing you again? I thought you'd at least come back for birthdays and Christmas, but I guess that turned out to be a little difficult for you.
You're really gonna drag this up again? What's your point?
I'm not trying to drag anything up. I guess it just hit me how busy you actually were when you decided not to come back for special occasions like you said you would. You were even too worn out for me to fly over to you, even though I would have been happy to. You specifically told me not to come because you weren't feeling up to it, right? You really must have been seriously busy this last year. Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is, I find your work ethic really admirable, Tyrone.
Yeah, I guess I have been busy. Thanks.
Okay, well, be careful on the way home, sweetie. I'll see you soon. Tyrone, my delightful, precious sugar dumpling. I can't take the loneliness. I need you here in my arms.
Vicky, my sweet treacle muffin, my sugary pumpkin pie, my darling angel, my dearest love. The ache of loneliness weighs upon my heart like 1,000 burdensome clouds, casting shadows upon the tender garden of my soul. If only I knew how good we had it when I was up there for my work transfer. Who would have thought having a home to go back to could feel so painful and lonely? I might be in this house with my wife, but you're the only one that's on my mind.
Tyrone, that's it. I've made my decision.
What decision?
I'm gonna move to Wyoming so I can be close to you.
You're gonna do what now?
Don't worry. Of course I'll choose where I move wisely so as not to arouse any suspicion from your wife. I just want to be near you, baby. That's all. I know this might sound sudden, but actually, it's been on my mind for a little while. I promise I'll take in your opinion and do it as cautiously as possible. Luckily, I work from home as a freelancer. I figure what's the point in having such a flexible job if I'm not going to use it to be with the most special man in the whole wide world?
Vicky, you do that? For me?
I'd walk to the ends of the earth and back for you, my snugglebug cupcake. I love you.
I love you, my cuddle bunny boo.
Hey, Tyrone. Turns out I'm going to be doing a spot of overtime today. Sorry, but I'm not going to be able to make your supper. There are some leftover cheesy potatoes in the fridge, or you could make something yourself. Or maybe even get takeout if you're not feeling up to it. Hey, what's with you? I can see you read my messages. You could at least say okay or react in some way. Why are you ignoring me? You've always had a tendency to ignore me when you get in a mood about something. Sometimes you even ignore me for 1 or 2 days at a time. Hasn't it been going on a little too long this time? You've been ignoring me ever since you got back from Michigan. It's been a whole month now. Like, are you seriously doing this? You are aware of what you're doing, right? I know there's no way you're not. I haven't heard a single word out of you since you walked through the front door. Not even a, honey, I'm home. Not to mention completely blanking my messages. I have absolutely no idea what I've done to upset you this time. If I've done something wrong, then tell me and let's talk it through. It's not like I'm not willing to admit fault if I did something, but it's impossible for me to know if you don't say anything. Can't you at least explain what's wrong?
Aha, my strategy's working.
Ooh, what strategy? Tell me.
My strategy to mentally and emotionally exhaust my wife by flat out ignoring her. The plan is to drive her to the breaking point until she gets so sick of it all, she divorces me.
You are absolutely devilish, Tyrone. The things we do for love. It sounds like it's going well.
Yup, everything is going according to plan. It looks like the soul-crushing sense of guilt is already starting to torment her.
Good. That's what she gets for stealing my man from me. I don't think we're doing anything bad. Our happiness is what comes first, after all, right?
If we're gonna frame it in terms of right and wrong, my wife's definitely the one in the wrong for not divorcing me earlier and forcing me to resort to strategies to make her hurry up and take the hint. When you think about it, she's kind of like the final boss in the way of our love.
You're right.
It's going to take a little bit longer to get rid of her for good, but this is where our patience counts more than ever. The finish line's in sight, baby, so let's play this as safe as we possibly can.
Sure thing, baby. You're my heartthrob, and I'd do anything for you. Oh, that reminds me. It looks like I'm going to be able to move over to Wyoming at the beginning of next month.
Aha, nice. You work fast.
Well, I don't know about that. It did take me a whole month to decide on the place, but I figured since me and you are gonna end up living together there soon enough, I had to make sure it was nice. Want to know a little secret? I ordered us the biggest, most luxurious double bed money can buy. I can't wait for you to ravage me on it, stud muffin.
Stop it, babe. You're gonna get me all excited. I'm gonna make sweet, tender love to you like you've never been loved before when I finally see you again, my sexy little munchkin.
Calm down, stallion. It's still too early.
I can't take it anymore. Are you free to meet up this weekend?
Huh?
I'll be going into work on my day off this Saturday. I have a meeting with a customer a little out of town, which means I'll be driving for a while. How about me and you arrange a little rendezvous while I'm at it? By my calculations, I'll have 2 hours before I need to get back. What do you say, Vicky? How about a little secret encounter?
Oh my, Tyrone, you're terrible. Say no more. I'll be waiting for you, Daddy. Tyrone, will you be late home again today? You know what? I don't even know why I bother asking. You're clearly just going to keep ignoring me. I did hear you were expecting a lot of overtime for the first month or two after you got back from your work transfer in Michigan, but I hardly even see you at home these days. I don't know if it's because you're intentionally coming home after you know I'll be asleep to avoid me, but this isn't normal. I barely ever see you. You flat out blank me on the rare occasion that I do, and you completely ignore all of my messages. If you hate me that much, how about you say it to my face instead of escaping like a spineless little weasel? I am beyond sick of this, Tyrone. I won't put up with it for much longer. I have some things to take care of at my mom and dad's place, so I'll be staying there tonight. Goodbye.
Hey there, my cuddly little cupcake.
Hey, Tyrone. You finished with your overtime now?
Yep, all done. I'm on my way to you as we speak.
I just finished work, too.
Oh, by the way, do you mind if I stay over at your place tonight?
Don't be silly, baby. You know you're always welcome here. But what about your wife?
She said something about staying over at her parents' place tonight, so she won't be around at the house to know I'm not home.
Wow, really?
That's why you're all mine tonight. I hope you're ready, because you're barely going to be able to walk by the time I'm done with ya, pumpkin pie.
Oh, baby, that's music to my ears. I'm going to jump in the shower. I'll be waiting on the bed for you in my special bunny lingerie when you get here, my rugged love muffin.
I'm sprinting over to your place so fast, they're going to start calling me Usain Bolt.
So her name is Vicky, is it? A freelance manga translator on a middling income. You met her when you were living in Michigan for work. She was your next-door neighbor in the apartment block your company had you stay in. Apparently you were pretty much living together by the time you had to come back here. And now, apparently unaware to bear being apart from you, Vicky moved here to Wyoming in a little apartment near Bakewell Station, which is where your trysts now exclusively take place, including the one you're having right now.
Huh? Wait a sec, what the?
The reason you've been flat out ignoring me for so long was because it was a strategy to push me to my emotional breaking point until I got so exhausted with it all, I felt like I had no choice but to divorce you. That's what you're waiting for, isn't it? I think that just about summarizes the situation, right? Did I miss anything?
Sarah?
I guess you were trying to avoid having to pay me compensation?
I ain't got no heckin' idea what you're talking about. Sure, I think maybe I do remember there being a Vicky next door back in Michigan, but we didn't have anything to do with each other beyond being neighbors, and we sure as hell don't see each other now.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. I forgot to tell you this, what with being constantly ignored all the time, but I got transferred to the pharmacy by Bakewell Station about a month ago.
Huh?
It turns out I can see the road that leads to Vicky's apartment through the front window.
You can?
When I first saw you together, I thought maybe she was one of your clients because I know you often do the rounds away from the office, but by the third or fourth sighting, I knew something fishy was going on. Then one day, when my mind was full of doubts, I saw the two of you walking by just as I was getting off work, so I decided to go ninja mode and follow you.
You followed us?
That was when I saw you going into her apartment together. I don't think I've ever seen you go inside a front door that fast in my life. Looking forward to something, were you?
I...
That was about a month and a half ago. I was pretty damn certain you were cheating on me by that point, but after speaking to my parents and brother, they recommended I gathered incontrovertible proof of what you were doing before confronting you. And that's when I decided to hire a private investigator who specializes in catching cheaters.
You hired a frickin' private investigator?
Everything I just sent you was from the investigation results report. Turns out he's very good at his job.
Oh my God. Hey, this isn't fair. I did my best to come up with a way we could divorce smoothly and painlessly, God damn it. You hired a freaking professional? I can't believe you.
Isn't it normal to hire a private investigator when you suspect your husband of cheating on you? Evidence is important, and I wasn't about to risk letting you know I knew by trying to tail you myself. Anyway, divorce smoothly and painlessly? What the hell's that supposed to mean? Don't act like you cared about not hurting me. This was nothing but a ploy to get me to divorce you while hiding your affair to get out of paying me compensation.
Well, I...
Whatever. It doesn't matter now. So if I were you, I wouldn't even bother wasting the effort it takes to try and worm your way out of it. We're getting a divorce, and that's that.
What?
By the way, have you noticed yet? Today marks the 3rd month of you flat out ignoring me.
Wow. 3 months.
I guess you got so wrapped up in your affair, you totally lost track of time. Anyway, don't worry, because you finally got your wish. I'm divorcing you.
Hang on a sec here, Sarah, please.
I already moved back in with my parents.
Whoa. Say what now? This is all happening too fast.
Is that so? I didn't exactly move yesterday, Tyrone. I had all my stuff moved from the house when I found out you were cheating on me a month ago. I haven't been there for ages now.
Huh? Your stuff is gone?
Were you so absorbed in your affair you didn't notice half of the rooms in our house were empty?
Well...
Whatever, it really doesn't matter anymore. Goodbye forever.
What the fuck? Wait a sec! Holy hell. Am I really this screwed?
Tyrone! What is happening? What's this weird envelope that showed up in my mailbox? I thought it must be a case of mistaken identity, but when I opened it, it said I have to pay a frickin' compensation?
Vicky, it's my wife. She found out about us. She knows everything.
What? How?
She told me she saw us going into your apartment a month ago. You know, not long after you moved in there. God damn it, I'm so screwed.
You're screwed? No, I'm screwed. But wait a second, how is this possible? We were so careful. We picked the place by Bakewell Station intentionally because it was so far away from anywhere your wife goes. We literally couldn't have been more careful. How could she possibly know? And this quickly? Something doesn't add up here. Explain.
You know my wife's a pharmacist, right? Well, she got transferred to the pharmacy by Bakewell Station recently.
Huh?
Apparently she saw us because the road that leads to your apartment is right in front of the front window of the pharmacy. She had a full view of us walking by together every time. That's what she told me just now.
Oh my god! You better be freaking joking me, Tyrone. If this isn't all some kind of weird prank, I am seriously gonna lose my head. Do you have any idea how much money I spent to move here to be with you? I am flat out broke now. There is no way I can afford to pay compensation.
But, think about it, baby. It's not so bad. Sure, we might end up having to pay her a little something, but at least she's finally divorcing me now. This is what we've been waiting for all along, right? Surely the compensation is a small price to pay for our love.
That having to pay her a little something is exactly what we were so careful to try and avoid all this time, you doofus. And it's not a small price. She's demanding a freaking arm and a leg here.
Hey, don't call me that. I mean, sure, things didn't exactly go as we planned, but at least we still have each other, right?
We're finished.
What?
I said we're finished. Me and you are through, so you can pay my share of the compensation.
What the hell? Are you being serious right now? You're just gonna dodge responsibility the moment things get tough?
We're not together anymore, so I don't have any responsibility to you.
No, we're not finished.
Yes, we are.
No, we're not!
I am absolutely not paying a single cent of this goddamn compensation, you low-life jerk. As our two former lovers were locked in a bitter feud, both of their parents paid me their share of the compensation in a lump sum on their behalves, promising to make their wayward children pay them it all back. With that, I filed the divorce papers and things finally calmed down. It felt great to finally wash my hands of the waste of space known as Tyrone, whom I allowed to steal so many years of my life, and I breathed a sigh of relief knowing I'd never have to deal with him ever again. From that point onwards, nothing that happened to him was my problem. Amazingly, I found out later on that his ex-lover Vicky got fired from her job. I guess it's only natural her boss was a little pissed off when he found out she'd been using their company car for her secret trysts with my ex-husband. Word is, it was the stains on the back seat that gave them away. Last I hear, they're both working several part-time jobs to come up with the crazy amounts of debt they owe their parents. As for Vicky, she got so absorbed in the affair that she started neglecting her freelance work, which meant her income took a massive hit. Still, that doesn't change the fact that she had to pay her parents back. Feeling lost and desperate, she felt she had no choice but to turn to nighttime work. Apparently these days, she spends her evenings on street corners waiting for seedy old men to pick her up. Thanks for watching, folks! We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to help the channel out by liking and subscribing. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We can't wait to see you again next time. Christy, are you there? Did the wedding invite arrive yet? You didn't get back to me on whether you'd be coming or not, so I had no choice but to message you. Huh? What the? Listen to me, Mel. I already made it perfectly clear I had no intention of coming from the get-go, didn't I? Why would you go out of your way to send an invite when you already knew what the answer was? Wow, what am I even reading? This is your own brother's wedding we're talking about here. Of course you're coming. What about your duty to your family? What with the both of your parents having passed away, you'd be the only member of Kyle's family there. Are you really going to let him be all on his own like this? Don't you feel bad for your little brother? I don't need to be lectured about not coming to the wedding by the person who made me want to not come to the wedding in the first place. Besides, Kyle won't be on his own. He'll have you, your family, and his friends there with him. Huh? How did I make you not want to come to the wedding? What are you even talking about? Did you really think I didn't know? Oh, I know what this is about. Being a high school dropout really bothers you, doesn't it, Kirsty? Huh? It's fine, babe. You don't need to worry about that. It's a triviality. Anyway, we don't need you to have brains. Me and Kyle graduated university with flying colors after all, so we've got the intellect and achievement bases covered. Most of my family graduated university too. I totally get why you might feel ashamed and embarrassed about being a high school dropout, but honestly, you don't need to. We're not judging you for it, I promise. We're open-minded and accept people from all walks of life and backgrounds. That's not what I'm talking about. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, that settles it. I'll put you down on the attending list. You can put me on whatever list you like. The bottom line is I'm not coming, and that's final. Yeah, whatever. Quit fooling me around already, Kirsty. You're obviously going to be there to support your little brother. Wow, you seriously don't get it, do you? Have you even realized why I don't want to come in the first place, or did it go straight over your head? Or are you doing this on purpose to tick me off? Yeah, whatever. Ugh, would you quit being so immature already? Anyway, you can say whatever you like. I'm not coming, and that's that. I amaze myself with how clever I am sometimes. It's no surprise I graduated university with brains like these. What are you talking about? I successfully switched jobs to something with better prospects and better pay. You switched jobs? Let's just say some things happened at my old job and I had to quit. I knew me and Kyle would be moving to a different town after the wedding anyway, so I figured I'd use me leaving the old place to find something more local with a more convenient commute. And guess what? A major global company just made me an offer I couldn't refuse. I'm the best. I doubt a high school dropout like you could ever accomplish anything like this. Wow, really? You actually got an offer that fast? You have no idea how hectic it was to find time to fit the interview in with the preparations for the wedding. I felt like I was barely getting time to eat, but boy, am I glad I went. I take it you changed your plans to become a full-time stay-at-home housewife then. Huh? I heard about you bragging to everyone about how you were going to quit your job when you got married because my brother Kyle's filthy rich due to being a top executive at one of America's most prestigious donut companies. That was... Oh, it's fine, Mel. You don't have to try and hide it or make excuses. I already know the reason. Huh? Anyway, I need to head back to work now, so... yeah, bye. I'm not sure I like your tone, Kirsty. This isn't over. Oh, and before I go, I know you can be slow and forgetful what with being a high school dropout and all, so allow me to remind you one more time. You are absolutely, positively, definitely, incontrovertibly, without a shadow of a doubt, coming to our wedding next month. And don't you forget it. It's gonna be a blast, and we wouldn't dream of celebrating without you there to share in our joy. Sis? Hello? The wedding's about to start, you know. Hurry up and get your ass down here. What are you talking about? Like I need to spell it out. Mine and Kyle's wedding is about to start, doofus. Oh, was that today? What? Of course it's today, and you know it. Quit playing dumb. I know you left the house wearing your best clothes this morning, so don't even try to hide it. That reminds me, I heard you moved into one of those apartments that was for sale in my neighborhood. I'm guessing that's how you appear to have been tracking my whereabouts. Jeez, you know, Mel, I was hoping you'd move as far away from me as humanly possible so I'd never have to deal with you again. But you had to go and move in practically next door to me, huh? Hey, wait a sec. No way. Did you get the wedding venue wrong? Huh? The wedding venue. Do you actually know where it is? We're doing it with a company called Matrimonial Magic Makers at their main wedding hall on 5th Street. Matrimonial Magic Makers? Oh, wow, I see. I'm guessing from your response. I knew it. Did you mix up the venue for your own brother's wedding? I guess it can't be helped. I should have written the invite in crayon so even a high school dropout like you could understand it. I'm pretty sure I already made this clear, but I had no intention of coming to the wedding to begin with, so there was no need for me to check where it was being held. Huh? I never planned on coming, so why would I waste my time? Waste your time? Mine and your brother's wedding is not a waste of time. I didn't bother to look at the date either. I'm at work today and I have a bunch of meetings with several important clients. That's the only reason I'm dressed especially smartly. Gotta make sure I leave a good impression, you know? Oh my God, are you serious? Hang on a sec, were you trying to pull a trick on me by intentionally writing the wrong wedding venue on my invite so I'd show up at the wrong place? You wouldn't do something so childish, would you, Mel? No way! I hit the nail on the head, huh? But now that I think about it, if you're getting married today, I take it you'll be absent from the new employee training session today then? What the hell? Today was supposed to be your first day at your new job, wasn't it? We generally train up new employees for the week before they officially start. But since you got hired outside of our usual hiring season, the plan was to train you up officially starting from your first day, today. You were made aware of the schedule over text and email, Mel. There was no reason you couldn't have let us know you wouldn't be able to make it. But it's a Sunday today! Well, the industry we work in isn't as subject to the weekday-weekend cycle as most others, which means a good chunk of our departments run just like normal on Sundays. What? It just so happens that your department is one of the many that work weekends. This, in combination with the fact that you were made aware you were supposed to be here, means there's no excuse for your absence. My coworker, the guy in charge of providing the newbie training, just sent me a message. The training course for our midterm recruitment newbies starts today. Can you believe one of them didn't show up on her very first day? Geez, Kirsty, where do we find these people? I won't send what came after that, but needless to say, he is furious. I think I did get some kind of training schedule over mail. Wait, are you telling me that was actually the schedule? I thought the part where it said I was in today was a mistake. If you thought it was a mistake, why didn't you make an inquiry? Surely that would have been the reasonable thing to do in this situation. 'Cause who the hell works on a Sunday? I figured it must have meant Monday, so I just ignored it. I was ready to come in tomorrow. Would you mind bearing with me for a little while, Mel? Thanks. I just checked with my coworker, and it turns out your shift today most definitely wasn't a data entry mistake. Huh? How the hell would you know that? Because my boss received a copy of the same training schedule that was sent out to all the newbies, and he just showed it to me. Huh? There are about half a dozen newbies starting today, and a few of them are going to be assigned to my department, which means my boss has access to all of the relevant materials. Wait, what the... Hang on a sec. Your boss? I thought you seemed weirdly knowledgeable about the inner workings of the company. Hang on, are you... Yep, bingo. I take it the penny finally dropped then? I work as a full-time employee at the company you received a provisional offer at. Oh my god, are you serious? Don't get me wrong, I have absolutely nothing to do with HR. Which means I was astonished when I found out my little brother's soon-to-be wife just got assigned to my department. Anyway, we'll have to get this situation sorted out soon. What's it gonna be, Mel? What do you mean? Whether you go through with your wedding is, of course, entirely up to you, but you should know it'll mean going down on the system as an absence without notification on your first day of work, no less. Basically, it's going to mean you failed to attend the first day of your mandatory employee training course without good reason, and since the offer you received was provisional, is all but guaranteed to mean your chances of getting a full-time contract are pretty much zero. I won't fall for this. I know you're trying to trick me. Excuse me? Trick you? It's so obvious. I can read you like a book. This is clearly nothing but a huge crock of bullshit you cooked up in desperation to avoid the shame and embarrassment of admitting you got the venue for your own brother's wedding wrong. This is why you can't trust a high school dropout with anything. Oh, you're free to interpret this whole situation like that if it makes you feel better, but I think you're aware of how ridiculous the situation that I'd make something like this up is, Mel. No, it makes perfect sense. Anyway, this is your fault for not giving mine and your brother's wedding your blessing in the first place. If you would have just fulfilled your goddamn duty as his sister to begin with, none of this would be happening. How exactly do you work that one out? Your wedding and today's newbie training have nothing to do with each other. Even if I had gone to the wedding, you would have still been expected to be in today as long as you didn't inquire about your misunderstanding over which day it was on. So why won't you come to the wedding? You're the only family Kyle has left now that your parents are dead. Are you really gonna make me explain it to you? Yes, because none of this makes any frickin' sense. For real. Like, are you being serious right now? Whatever. You know what? It seems like you genuinely don't understand. Fine, it can't be helped. My brother Kyle was originally engaged to Michaela, your older sister, right? But you stole him from her by having an affair with him behind her back. So what? What's your point? Me and Kyle love each other, and that's all that matters. Who are you to try and stand in our way by dragging up the past like this? I'm not holding the fact you and my brother developed feelings for each other against you. It was the letting it develop into a full-blown affair while he was still engaged part that was despicable. Any decent human being would have waited until he'd broken off the engagement, or simply let go if he wasn't willing to. Huh? Naturally, I think you're despicable after demonstrating your absolute lack of virtue and moral fiber by tempting my brother into having an affair with you when you knew full well he was engaged to your sister. But I am also disgusted with my brother for meeting you halfway. If he has half a spine or a modicum of decency in him, he would have told you where to stick your seedy solicitations faster than you could say seedy two-bit whore. Which is why I was obviously never going to show up to the wedding, and to be honest, why I never want anything to do with either of you again for as long as I live. Besides, I already said all of this to Kyle. He knows I despise him and was never under any illusion I'd be at the wedding. So it genuinely baffles me that you didn't seem to get the message. Huh? You see, Kyle and I lost our parents in a traffic accident when I was still in high school. He was still in elementary school at the time, so I had no choice but to drop out so I could take care of him. I gave my everything to give him the best shot I possibly could at making something of his life. And how did he repay me? By coldly betraying your sister, one of the loveliest, most kind-hearted people I know, in the cruelest, most hurtful way possible. Huh? Anyway, Mel, it's time to make a decision. What's it going to be? Shall we go with an unpermitted absence from your first day at work and the beginning of your training course? Hello? Are you there? Why isn't there anybody here? Huh? I was messaging you in the bride's waiting room this whole time. I could hear some noise coming from the main hall around 20 minutes ago, but it was distracting me from our conversation, so I just locked the door and carried on talking to you. But I just got a message from Kyle saying nobody showed up to the wedding. Forget my friends, even my family and relatives didn't bother showing up. Where is everyone? Oh, I see. I wondered why you suddenly stopped replying. How would I know why no one showed up at your wedding? I didn't even know where it was being held or which day it was on, remember? But this makes no sense. There were supposed to be at least 30 people coming. And did you receive return letters confirming their attendance after sending out invites to all 30 of them? Of course I did. Like I'd forget something so simple. What the hell do you take me for? I see. Well, in that case, and this is just speculation, but is it possible they all agreed to cancel at the last minute behind your back? What? Why the heck would they do something like that? That's crazy. I won't say exactly who I heard this from. Let's just say it was a friend's brother's dog. But the word on the street is that you've always had a habit of stealing other women's boyfriends, and that you're not exactly the most popular girl in town, even among the people you call friends. Apparently everyone's been pretty cold towards Kyle since word got out he cheated on your sister with... Listen, Mel, I didn't come up with this. I'm just passing on the message, but apparently their nickname for you is the Town Whore. Oh my God, that's my nickname? And none of them showed up to my wedding? Ugh, this can't be happening. So yeah, I'm just speculating, but based on what I've heard, I'd say that's a pretty likely explanation for your current situation, wouldn't you? But I could always be wrong. There are other possibilities. So you really should get some confirmation before you go off and do anything rash. Oh my God, does everyone really hate me that much? This can't be happening. I was supposed to have a fairy tale wedding. About an hour after our last message, a woman in a wedding dress barged past security and sprinted up the stairs to our office as if she was possessed by some kind of demonic spirit. Needless to say, the police were called. The sight of Mel yelling, "I'm here for my training!" at the top of her lungs while being restrained by the slightly embarrassed security guard she blitzed past like a whirlwind only a minute before was one I'll never forget. It turned out my theory about the wedding guests plotting to cancel on Mel and my brother at the last minute was right on the mark. Apparently realizing they were no longer going to get any wedding gifts, they canceled the wedding and incurred a massive same-day cancellation fee. That, in combination with the compensation they both already owed Mel's older sister for the affair, must have been why Mel was so desperate not to lose her new job. She was so desperate, in fact, that she completely forgot to get changed and showed up at the office flailing around like an escaped mental patient in a wedding dress. Naturally, everyone at the company was mortified by the bizarre spectacle unfolding before their eyes, and she was fired right then and there. As for Kyle, he quit the same week, unable to bear now being the butt of every joke and the subject of every hushed conversation in the cafeteria. Last I hear, Mel and Kyle are currently spending their days in a cheap cockroach-infested apartment in the rough part of town while working like dogs to pay off their exorbitant debts.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Yo, Frankie, sup? Man, it feels like forever since I last talked to you. Yeah, it's been a pleasant 8 years. Why'd you have to go and ruin it by texting me like this? Come on, dude. Is that really how you're gonna greet an old friend? An old friend? As in someone who I no longer consider a friend? You should be grateful that's all I had to say about you, considering what you did. You slept with my wife, got cut off by your parents, turned everyone who was once your friend against you, and had to leave town to escape your ruined reputation. Didn't you move out of state? Well, yeah, but anyway, you're still working in town, aren't you? What's it to you? I just thought I might stop by and visit my old buddy Frankie and shoot the breeze for a while. Don't bother. You don't know where I live anyway. Not to worry. I got your address from one of our classmates who didn't know about our history. Unbelievable. Seriously, though, what do you think you're doing? You don't have any right to be texting me anymore, much less actually coming to visit me at my house. Oh, please, don't be like that. It's been 8 years. That's all water under the bridge now, all right? I'll still feel the same way about you 80 years from now. So don't you dare come anywhere near me. If you're really still that angry, why haven't you blocked my number? Just to keep tabs on you. There's no telling what a sociopathic moron like you will do. So it's safest to be able to at least have some advance notice of what you might be doing. Consider it like a vaccine for a virus named Luke. Wow, you're harsh. Not harsh, just honest. Well, if I'm gonna be honest, the truth is that your vaccine was a dud. Huh? What now? You got remarried, didn't you? Yeah, and? And you had a kid too, right? What's with these questions? I don't feel compelled to tell you anything about my life. Nah. You don't need to tell me anything. I already know everything. Tell you what, Frankie boy, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret I've been keeping from you. Secret? Get this. You know that precious little baby your wife gave birth to? It's not yours. It's mine. What? What are you talking about? You don't have to believe me. But if you get a paternity test, it's not going to be yours. But seriously, what's with you? You haven't even seen your wife in 2 years. How did you not realize the baby wasn't yours when she told you she was pregnant? Do you not even know how babies are made? For real, Luke, what in the world are you talking about? You've never met my current wife. You don't even know her name. That's what you think. I'm like a home-wrecking ninja. I sneak in undetected and bam! Your wife is now my plaything. You should know that. It's how I stole your last wife from you. I was getting with her for 2 whole years and you didn't even notice. I only let you in on the whole thing because I got bored. What kind of idiot doesn't notice his wife with another guy for that long? You're such a loser. Are you going to start making sense anytime soon? Huh? Who are you talking about? Luke, is this really you? Did someone take over your account or something? Or maybe you're just drunk out of your mind? Drunk? Well, maybe just a little. And it's the real me. I see. Well then, I don't want to deal with you for any longer than I have to. So I'll give you the bare minimum information necessary to get you to leave me alone. First off, I'm not living in our old town anymore. What? Second, I don't have any kids. Hold on. Oh, I get it. You're lying to try and get me to go away, aren't you? How pathetic. Sorry, Frankie boy. It's not gonna work. You're free to think whatever you'd like. I'm just telling you the truth. Now, if you excuse me, I need to get back to work. So I'll be taking my leave from this conversation now. Hey, hold on. I just told you I'm sleeping with your second wife. How can you be so chill about this? Not only that, the daughter that you thought was yours is actually mine. Should you be more, sad? I thought you'd be lying on the floor crying your eyes out by now. Well, I guess it doesn't really change my plan, so whatever. At first, I was planning on dumping her after I told you about our affair like the last time. But I actually kind of started to like her. That's why I got her pregnant, to make sure I could get her to divorce you and be with me. In other words, your wife and daughter are now mine. Everything went exactly as I planned. I win, you lose again. I hope you're ready to be a twice divorced loser. Be a pal and sign the paperwork as soon as you get it, okay? What's up, Frankie? I heard you absolutely lost it when your wife told you that she was going to divorce you. And then when she told you about your daughter. She said you didn't believe my text, but when she told you in person, you completely broke down and cried like a little girl. What's up with you, man? I already told you all of that. You should have believed me from the get-go. It would have saved you the humiliation of crying in front of your wife and daughter. I guess the truth finally set in, huh? Well, good. That makes my life easier, since now you'll agree to the divorce for sure. Just remember, it's what's best for your daughter. Or should I say, my daughter. Yo, Frankie, what's your deal? You never responded to my text yesterday. Are you trying to ignore me? Seriously, dude, grow up. You're a grown man. You're gonna have to deal with this like an adult. I guess I'm gonna have to tell you something that'll make you reply to me for sure this time. Know what I'm gonna do? Your wife. In your house. You gotta move it along, man. At this rate, your wife's gonna give birth to my second kid before you divorce her. Just knock before you come in, all right? Come on, Frank. You're starting to tick me off now. I wanted to settle this once and for all yesterday. That's why I texted you while I was with your wife. But once again, you didn't even reply once. How long are you going to keep running away from me, Frank? Do you think this is all going to go away if you keep ignoring me? You're going to have to face me sooner or later, Frank. Now text me back, tonight. Your wife and daughter are mine, like it or not. Sorry to have kept you waiting, Luke. There you are. I was doing a little digging into something, so I thought I would hold on from replying until I had dug up what I was looking for. Digging? What do you mean? I see you're very confident that you've stolen my wife and daughter from me. The woman you're with, her name is Luna, right? Yeah, your wife Luna. That's what I've been saying. Luna isn't my wife. What? She's my younger brother's wife. Your younger brother's wife? You're really something else, Frank. I was your best friend when we were kids. I lived next door to you until 8 years ago, for crying out loud. I know you don't have a younger brother, so tell me another one. Actually, I didn't even know I had a younger brother until about 6 years ago. And since you were run out of town 8 years ago, there's no way that you would know about him. Wait, what? I don't understand. To be more precise, he's only my half-brother. So that means, yeah, my parents got divorced when I was 3, so I know you knew that my dad had left us to move away. Well, yeah, I knew that. My dad got married to another woman, and they had a son. My half-brother Ken. Okay, go on. Ken got married last year, a little over 2 years ago. But just this last year, the company he was working for went bankrupt. So he had to move out of the company housing he had been living in up until then. At that point, my dad and Ken's mom had already divorced, and Luna's parents had passed away in a sudden accident several years prior. So since the two of them had nowhere else to go, and I happened to live nearby, I let them come and move in with me in my house for a while. Hold on. You said that you weren't living in our old town anymore. What's the deal? I'm just getting there. Be patient. Just about a month after Ken and his wife moved into my place, my company told me they were sending me to work at our company headquarters in another country. What the? Another country? You mean you're not even in the country right now? That's right. My wife and I moved overseas together 10 months ago. And if everything goes according to plan, I'll be staying here for another 6 or 7 years. Seriously? And as for my old place, it was a rental house. So when I moved over here, I just had Ken take over the lease, and he and his wife kept on living there. Man, this is an insane story. I had no idea. Man, this sucks. I was feeling great thinking that I managed to break up 2 of your marriages. But she's not even your wife? Ugh. I went to all that trouble for nothing. Whatever. I'm done with you. Later, Frankie. Frank, you there? I'm in big, big trouble. You gotta help me out, dude. What do you want now, Luke? You do understand that we live in different time zones, right? True time zones. I'm in full-on crisis mode, Frank. Go on. Your half-brother, Ken, he's suing me. And Luna just showed up at my apartment door with her kid and all her stuff. Okay, and? I'm not sure what you're so surprised about. This is the only possible way this could have ended for you. What do you mean, why? You slept with a married woman, Luke. That means her husband, my half-brother Ken, can sue you for your part in her infidelity. Really? Don't tell me you forgot. You should have gotten the exact same papers in the mail when you slept with my first wife. That was when your parents agreed to foot the bill for the lawsuit settlement in exchange for cutting you out of their will. I guess I can understand how you forgot. At the time, you were just happy that your parents were going to pay it and wouldn't cost you a thing. I guess their act of kindness kept you from feeling the pain that hopefully would have taught you a lesson. And that's it. My parents. I can get them to pay for the lawsuit. Are you drunk again or just not paying attention? They cut you off, disowned you. What else am I supposed to do? Luna's here demanding that I support her and the kid. I don't have that kind of money. I'm barely getting by on my own. If I can't get my parents to help me, then how am I supposed to come up with the money to feed 2 more people? Well, I guess you could ask your parents to bail you out again. If you can find them. What do you mean? I know where my old house is. Was, not is. I looked it up and the place where your old house used to be is now a new apartment complex. What? It's gone? Why? Isn't it obvious? They sold it and moved away. Their reputation in the community took a nosedive thanks to your escapade with my first wife. I also can imagine it would be pretty uncomfortable living next door to the person whose wife their son slept with. So they probably wanted to put it all behind them and start fresh elsewhere. Where did they go? Don't ask me. I have no idea. You've got to have some idea. Nope, not a clue. Are we done here? I want to get back to sleep. Hey, you can't just go to sleep at a time like this. I told you, idiot. Oh, we live in different time zones. Yes, I definitely can go to sleep right now. That's not the issue. The issue is I'm having the crisis of a lifetime over here. I would never in a million years lift one single finger to help you out of a crisis you might be facing. And not even to save your life. How can you say that to me? If you really don't know, then there's nothing that I could say to make you understand. I'm going back to bed now, Luke. Good luck. Frank, you can't do this to me. You got to help me. I heard about everything that happened next from my half-brother Ken. Apparently, it all went down pretty quickly. He was concerned that Luke and Luna might skip town to try and avoid paying him the money they owe him. So, while he got a lawyer to advance his case through the legal channels as quickly as possible, he also asked the CEO of his company for advice. The CEO told Luke that he had some connections in a particular sector of society that might be able to deal with the two of them. The CEO's acquaintance quickly agreed to take on the task of encouraging Luke and Luna not to leave town, and even gave them jobs and a place to live while they work off their debts to me. The company that hired them has a very strict disciplinary system in place, so I don't suppose the two of them will be causing any trouble in the near future. Plus, they're making all their payments on time. I was concerned for their daughter, though, since she's a totally innocent party in all of this, but Ken's CEO pulled some more strings and she got taken in by a kind and loving family. I'm not very hopeful that Ken will ever be able to be anything resembling a decent human being, but I hope his time at his new company will straighten him out, even if only for a little bit.
Anna, in 2 days your sister-in-law April will be coming home to relax before she has her baby. What? In 2 days she's coming home? Why are you acting all worried about that? No, I'm not worried. I was just caught off guard because I didn't expect her to be coming home so soon. Also, wasn't she saying at first that she'd be going to her husband's parents' home to relax and wait to have her baby? I know that's what she told Caleb and I. I didn't like the thought of that, so I had a word with her and changed her mind so that she'd be coming back to my house. I was afraid that over at her in-laws' house there was a chance her mother-in-law would start to pick on her. Oh, that wouldn't be good, right? But from what I've been told, April and her mother-in-law are already really close to one another. That may be so, but in order to keep me from worrying about her, she needs to come here and relax. You should never just accept that things are going well with her and her in-laws. The fact that you're so gullible is one of the reasons why I think of you as a child. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, now that you're aware of the new plans, I would like you to start cleaning out your room and preparing it for her to stay in while she's here. What? You want for April to come and use my room? That's right. Then can't she go and stay in the guest bedroom or something? She'll be here for a few months, so it would be much more efficient to have her stay in that room over mine. How dare you say such a thing? Well, to be frank, you're making more trouble for everyone by having her move into my room. Especially me, considering next month my company is going remote, so I have to have my room set up in order to get my work done. I don't care about your work. Right now, this is about my daughter who is coming back here to have her baby. She is a pregnant woman. I don't care about you having your room or not while you're living in this house, so go find another room to work in. Huh? If you're going to be that selfish about your room, I might just have you living outside the house from now on. If things don't change with you, then I'm going to start feeling as though you're trying to harass me or something. I'm not trying to, though. I don't trust you. To be honest, it's pretty normal of you to never listen to anything I ask for. That's the kind of daughter-in-law you've been to me. The reason I'm not always listening is because you always say and ask the most outlandish things. There are times you ask me to come home from my office, which is an hour away, to make you lunch, and you want me home from there in 10 minutes. That's impossible. And do you remember the time I had that sprained ankle and you kept asking me to carry all kinds of heavy things for you? You also had me be the one to pay for a $5,000 lazy boy chair with massaging features for you. You've been putting me through so much crap lately that I'm kind of at the point where I can't listen to you. Whatever your husband's parents say to you, you must do. If you understand that now, then you start doing more for me. The first thing you need to do for me is get that room of yours cleaned out so that my pregnant daughter can start to stay in it. You will be going out into the yard to live now. The yard? There's that old doghouse out there, so that's where you'll be sleeping. Here you go again with this outlandish and impossible stuff. You seriously want me out there sleeping in Spot's old house? I do. He was a very large dog when he was still around, so you should be more than able to fit inside the doghouse and sleep. But even if... I don't feel comfortable having you in this house anymore with that bad attitude, so you can go out there and sleep so April can relax. The only reason I'm not kicking you off this property completely is because you'd cause trouble for everyone being homeless in this neighborhood, and the police might come and question me about you. So be thankful that I'm willing to even let you stay in Spot's old house. What the hell? No wonder your kids hate you so much. Excuse me, what was that supposed to mean? I like to think my kids both think of me as their perfect mother. I still have work to get done today, so goodbye. Caleb, have you finished work yet?
Hey, Anna. I just finished up everything I had on the itinerary for today. Are you on your way home from work now as well?
Yep. I'm just relaxing in this bus watching the news.
Well, if you're going to be passing by Lakeview soon, can you get off there so we can meet up?
Oh, thank God. I can do that.
Why do you sound so relieved all of a sudden?
Have you heard the news about your sister coming home in 2 days to relax before having her baby?
What? No, I haven't heard anything about that, actually. Wait, wasn't she saying she'd be going out to her in-laws' place to stay with them for the next couple of months? We all know that my sister wouldn't last a day with my mom's BS. And the stress caused might create issues for the baby even. Right?
I know that. I think your mom is just being delusional again and is trying to make a scene for all of us.
What was she going on about this time?
In order to let her daughter have the most relaxing time in the house, she's wanting me to give up my room and clear it all out.
Huh?
She wants me to live out in the yard while your sister's around and have me go sleep in Spot's old doghouse at night.
Huh?
That's the easiest way I can sum everything up to you.
Hold on a sec. There has to be an end to that old fart's BS.
I'm sorry to say this, but I think the same thing about your mom. Also, I was kind of thinking perhaps your sister is in a bit of a pinch right now or something. We both know that your sister is wanting to stay at her in-laws' house because her and her mother-in-law get along so well, but, well, perhaps your mom is pestering her right now about coming back to her house, and that's caused your sister to give in.
That could be what's happened.
I was thinking we could talk about all of this if we're meeting up in Lakeview soon.
We can do that. And if we need to, we can call April and her husband and see what's going on with them.
All right, I'll be getting to the Lakeview stop here in 10 minutes or so. Let's meet over by that old oak tree out in front of the stop, okay?
Sounds good.
Caleb, let's both make sure to take the afternoon off from work, and then you and I can get to work on that plan we've made up.
While my mom is out of the house today at whatever arts and crafts class she has, we can take care of business once and for all.
Perfect. I just wanted to say I am shocked that your sister and her husband were already thinking about something like this before you and I could even start.
And I'm even more shocked that my brother-in-law has a license to operate heavy machinery.
That's true. That license is going to come in real handy here, so thank goodness we have him and didn't need to find someone else.
All right. Now, let's just relax a little bit this morning before we have to start going crazy back at the house.
Okay. Let's get all of our work done now, and then we can have the whole afternoon off to take care of things. What's this? Anna, I think this is the first time you've ever actually listened to me. You really did a wonderful job cleaning out your whole room for me. Perhaps you are finally coming around to being a good wife for my son and his family. Now I'm not as worried anymore about you trying to harass me or anything. And the best thing from all of this is that April will finally be able to come back to the house and relax alongside me. Does this mean you made it back home now? Yes. I just got home from my arts and crafts class today. You seem to have come home a lot later than normal this time around. I was invited out for dinner with one of my friends from the class, and so I decided to tag along with her. She wanted to celebrate my daughter coming back home to have my grandbaby, so we did just that. Is that so? So? Where are you at right now? I'm in the yard right now. Really? No way. You're actually going to be living out in that yard now? Oh, how funny, Anna. I can't believe you'd even do that. How fun indeed. Well, make sure to do as I've said. Like I was saying, I want you to sleep out in Spot's old doghouse tonight, and for the rest of the time that my daughter is around. Understood. I'm going to bed now. Good night. I can't believe you actually took my jokes seriously. Well, now that I know you're listening to me, I'm going to have even more fun with you. I need to get ready for tomorrow, so I'm getting into the bath, and then afterwards I'm going right to bed. Anna! What the hell is all of this about? I just woke up and was on my way to get breakfast, and as I opened up the cupboard, the only things inside were one bowl and one plate. And when I went to have a look inside Caleb's room, none of his stuff was in there. Oh, what the hell is all of this about? I see. So you finally come around to realizing what's going on? We were hoping that last night when you went to have dinner, you would notice the big change, but you came home late and went right to bed. We just had to wait until the morning to hear back from you about everything. Sorry for the early morning surprise. I want to know what's going on right now. I wasn't lying about being in the yard last night, by the way. But when I said yard, I meant the yard of this wonderful resort I'm staying at while waiting on things to be moved. Waiting on things to be moved? Caleb and I moved out of there. What did you say? When? When did you both have time to do all of that? Just the other day. 2 days ago, in fact, we decided to make a plan to take care of business for us. And that plan involved us moving all our things out of your house yesterday. At first, we didn't think we could pull everything off in such a short time, but once we thought of all the reasons for why we needed to get out, we were able to make it happen. This is not the time to be talking to me about all of that crap. Ugh, damn it! Oh, this is the day April is finally coming home, and both her brother and sister-in-law are no longer around? April isn't going back home to your house. Huh? Just as she'd said once she made her mind up, she went over to her mother-in-law's house and will be relaxing there for a while. And after that, her husband and her are planning on moving into a brand new house to start living together with her in-laws. Why? I was giving her the chance to finally escape being bullied by her mother-in-law. Scarlett, April has never said anything about her relationship with her mother-in-law being sour. Have you still not noticed that April hates you? Huh? I asked April about how things were around you after your husband, her father, had passed away. And from what she unpacked with me, there was a lot of drama and a lot of bad memories for her. Like the one where you kicked her older sister out of the house and then disowned her? What are you talking about? Apparently it was April's older sister who was able to get you and your husband to get married in the first place. But then after the marriage, she tried to tell her father she had messed up, but he never listened. What is all of this, Anna? Oh, this has nothing to do with what's going on right now. It turns out that April's older sister knew you had some problems, and after you became single again, those problems, the roots to them, began to take hold again. Excuse me, what roots are you talking about? Well, I'm sure things will all settle down once you are left all by yourself for good. What? You don't have to understand what I'm talking about here. And forget about Paws, because we took her with us as well. My cat? Oh, we got Paws years ago because I told everyone that I wanted a cat, and that makes her mine. Well, the issue is, ever since she went from being a kitten and turned into a cat, you stopped caring about her. You really think things would have changed after we moved out? I sure don't think so. Caleb and I were the only two that would feed her and give her any attention. No way! Honestly, you never even knew how to care for a cat, nor even a dog. That's why Spot's gone now, because you never took him out on walks and would only feed him junk. Right now, the only person that Paws wants to be with is the person who cared for her the most. Caleb. She knew something was going on when we were taking everything out of your house, and as we climbed into our car, she hopped in with us. No way!
Mom?
Caleb, oh, finally! Hey, why? Why would you do this to me?
Do I really have to go through and explain all my reasons to you?
What?
I'm sure you can already tell why I'm out of there now. To be honest, I wanted to be out of that house a lot sooner than this. Like years ago, back when I first married Anna. Even before that, actually, after Dad had passed away and things started to really go downhill with you. Well, I've finally taken the chance, and I want things between you and I to be finished with. Let me be now.
Let you be?
I was originally going to say all of this to you after April had her baby and was feeling better. But Mom, I cannot be around you anymore. You have made things so hard on everyone, and recently you've been really crossing the line with all of your delusions.
Oh, Caleb, you hold it right there. That inheritance. If you do this to me, then you'll never be getting any money or anything from me.
That's fine with me. I'm sure there isn't much that'll be left behind anyway.
But what about your father's money?
That's all gone now, right? You haven't worked a job in the last 20 years, so all of that money he left is probably long gone, being burnt away by you.
What?
And as for that house you're living in still? It was made mine in Dad's will. My name's been on it this whole time.
What? Are you kidding me, Caleb?
And I plan to have that house sold soon, which means you need to be out of there soon, and can't stop thinking about April or I being your kids now. Luckily, you've already started thinking about Kelsey. Bye now.
From what it sounds like, Scarlett had never been the most amazing person for anyone to be around. And when she was younger, she seemed to have been so spoiled by her parents that she was never able to grow out of it. And that ended up causing her to trip up in the end, as her inability to understand others' feelings led to her downfall within her family. One could say she was a victim of bad parenting since her parents never knew how to raise her properly, but at the age she's at now, she should have worked on fixing her issues a long time ago. So really, she was a victim of her parents' poor care for her, but she became less and less of a victim as she became older and older and would cause issues for more and more people. Anyway, as for my sister-in-law, April, she was able to give birth to a baby girl, and that made Caleb and I officially turn into an uncle and aunt. April made sure to not let Scarlett get anywhere near her baby, which would be impossible for her anyway since she can no longer find a way to April's new house. Luckily, though, April did say she'd be bringing her baby over to our new house soon, and Caleb and I cannot wait to see how her baby reacts to Paws. But before all that can happen, we need to finish cleaning up our house, since it's been full of moving boxes and all that from when our brother-in-law helped us move in with that moving truck. He even got a small crane, which he used to help get our pool table into the house for us, so that's where his heavy machinery license came into play. Anyway, after April did end up telling Scarlett about her baby and that she would never be allowed to see her, Scarlett was informed she needed to be put into a retirement home since she didn't have enough money anymore for a place of her own. Of course, the place is still going to cost some money over time, but Caleb agreed to use some of the money from his sold house to pay for her stay. But he said he would only do so if we got her a place that was very far away from where we're living now. With the way she acts all entitled and brash, I'm sure she won't be making any friends in that retirement home and will most definitely be alone for the rest of her life. And what the staff there have said so far is that she'll stay in her room all day just laying in bed and crying. So there we go. Hey, Jack, you saw the divorce papers I left on the table for you, right? I've already signed them. You hurry up and sign them too, okay? Then get them to the courthouse as soon as possible.
Wait just a second, Zoe. What's going on? This is all happening so fast.
I'm not waiting. I want to get a divorce as soon as possible.
Tell me, Zoe, did I do something wrong? I've been racking my brain ever since I found these after getting back from work. And while I may not have been a perfect husband, I have no idea what I did to make you do this. So please, can you tell me why? If there's anything I can do to make our marriage work, I'll do it.
There's nothing you can do to make this work, Jack. We're done.
Even if that's true, just tell me why you... I honestly have no idea why you would do this to me. I won't be able to sleep at night unless you give me a reason.
Seriously, Jack? I was planning on doing you a favor and leaving you with your dignity intact. But if you insist on me taking even that from you, then I guess I'll oblige.
If you were really concerned about preserving my dignity, I don't think you would have left a stack of divorce papers on the table and left without saying a word.
Okay, well, don't say I didn't warn you. The reason I'm leaving you is your salary.
My salary?
When we got married, I thought you'd make a decent enough income, but holy smoke, was I ever wrong about that.
But, really? I mean, sure, I might not be making Elon Musk kind of money, but my salary is more than the national average.
Yep, there it is. I was waiting for that. We have completely different concepts of our finances. Money may not be the most important thing in the world, but it is really important for married couples to be on the same page. But with a gap in understanding as big as ours, there was no way this was ever going to last very long. It was only a matter of time that our relationship would end like this.
I definitely see where you're coming from. It's super important for couples to have shared values with things like money. But if that's really all that's wrong here, then can't we talk things out? I'm sure we can come to an understanding if we took some time to discuss it.
Sorry, but no thanks. I feel like I'm going to be the only one who ends up having to make any compromises, and I'm not interested in a marriage where I have to do all the sacrificing. I've already talked to my parents about this too, and they're totally on board with me divorcing you.
Wow. Let me think this over, okay?
Fine. You have 3 days to make up your mind.
What? 3 days? That's nowhere near enough time. You talk to your parents. I want to talk to mine about this too. Can't you give me more time than that?
Be grateful I gave you 3 days. I was going to give you until tomorrow.
You got to be kidding me.
No, I'm not. And out of the kindness of my heart, I agreed to compromise again to give you 3 days. You know me. I don't like it when people keep me waiting for important things. 3 days is all you're going to get.
I can't believe this, but okay. I'll talk to you again in 3 days.
Okay, 3 days is up, Jack. Did you sign the divorce papers yet? Remember to take them to the courthouse with you.
Yeah, I signed them. And I have them with me right now.
Good. By the way, my parents and I are going to go to the courthouse with you.
You are? Why?
Sounds like they want to have a little word with you before we're officially over. I bet they're going to tear into you about being a poor loser.
Poor? Come on, Zoe. I told you before, my salary is above the national average. We're upper middle class, not poor.
Would you please give it up already? We're getting divorced, and that's final. No amount of whining and pleading from you can change my mind.
Unreal. All right, I'll meet up with you all in front of the courthouse at 1. Hey, Sienna, you got a sec?
What's up, bro?
Would you stop calling me that? You're my little sister, not my college roommate. Anyway, you're free now, right?
You kidding me? I'm bored out of my mind. Classes are still out for the summer, my boyfriend's working, and none of my favorite Instagram accounts have any new content out, so yeah, I've got nothing to do.
Perfect. What would you say about going to the courthouse with me today?
The courthouse? Wait, this is about your divorce, yeah? How does this involve me?
Zoe just texted and said that her parents are going to go with me when I turn in the divorce papers. Something seems, I don't know, off. So I was wondering if you could come along with me, disguise yourself so they won't know it's you, and listen into our conversation so I have a witness.
Frankly, I would rather sit here doing nothing than play detective with you.
I'll give you $100.
Detective Sienna here, reporting for duty, sir.
Well, that's what I thought you'd say. Okay, you know the park out in the back of the courthouse? Meet me there at 12:30.
That park's pretty big. Where should I meet you?
You remember the big swing set we used to play on when we were kids? How about there?
Gotcha. See you then. Hey, Jack. Thanks for submitting the divorce papers like a good little boy.
Yeah, sure, whatever. By the way, are you sure you're okay with no property division? We were only married for half a year, but I think you'd be entitled to get about $2,000 or so for me. Do you really not want it?
$2,000? It's not worth the trouble. And the divorce was my idea and all, so you can go ahead and keep that as my parting gift to you.
Yeah, nice parting gift. Well, if that's what you really want, I guess that means we're done then.
Yep, bye-bye.
Thanks for tagging along, Sienna. You were a big help. I'm sorry I had to go and get you involved in this. It's my problem, not yours.
Hey, for $100, I'll get involved in any trouble you want me to.
You always would do just about anything for money.
It's all about the Benjamins, baby. But I gotta hand it to you, Jack. You saw right through them, didn't you? The very moment you handed off that stack of papers to the courthouse clerk, she said, "Phew, now I don't have to worry about him finding out about my affair anymore." She said it pretty quietly, so you probably couldn't hear her, but I was standing right behind them, so I heard it all loud and clear.
You really earned your $100, Sienna. You started recording them with your camera just in time to get all the dirty details on tape. That makes my next step way easier.
Your next step, huh? What are you gonna do now?
Hiring a private detective. He might have a tough job ahead of him, since I'll need him to look into past affairs in addition to current ones. But it's what I'll need to do in order to have hard proof to use against her.
Okay, have fun with that. Let me know if there's anything I can do.
Nah, you've done more than enough for me already. Tell you what, when things settle down around here, I'll take you out to have a nice dinner one night.
Free food? I'm in.
And you can even bring your boyfriend too if you want.
Wow, you're feeling generous today.
He is dating my little sister after all. Gotta keep tabs on him too.
Jeez, you're starting to sound like Dad. Hey, you've got some explaining to do, Jack. We just got back from submitting our marriage certificate from the courthouse, and this strange person I've never met before asks me if my name is Zoe, then hands me this massive envelope. And when I opened it up, it said, "You're suing me?" What is your problem, Jack?
I heard through the grapevine that you were going to get married today. Congratulations. I hope the two of you are very happy together.
You can cut the sarcasm, Jack. Listen up and listen good. We are divorced. That means I can do whatever I want with whoever I want. So what makes you think you have the right to sue me? I don't know what internet forum you got your legal advice from, but you can't sue someone for remarrying after divorcing you. I get it, you're still in love with me and want me to get back together, but I'm telling you for the last time, that is never going to happen.
I'm afraid you're mistaken. I'm not suing you for remarrying. I'm suing you for your affair. The one you admitted to, remember?
What are you talking about?
I guess you didn't notice, but I wasn't alone on the day you and your parents came with me to submit the divorce papers to the courthouse. I had an acquaintance come along just in case, and that acquaintance heard the entire conversation you had with your parents in secret. Most importantly, they heard you saying that you didn't need to worry about me finding out you had an affair.
No way!
No, of course, just overhearing that alone wouldn't be enough to win a court case against you. So I hired a private detective to do some more digging for me. I was concerned at first, but I didn't know if you were still having the affair or if it was ongoing, meaning there might not be any way to catch you. But then, I got help from a very unexpected source.
I don't like where this is going.
You said the envelope was thick, right? There should be 2 other envelopes inside of it. One from me, and one from your new husband's ex-wife.
Huh? Oh, you're right. There's one more in here.
She had been suspecting her husband was having an affair for quite some time, and she had been gathering mountains of evidence against him. She was generous enough to provide me with all the evidence that she had. Thanks to that, I was able to finally make my move against you today. So tell me, Zoe, how does it feel to get sued by your ex-husband on the day that you got married?
No way. You mean you actually waited until the day we got married to do this? On purpose?
Your new husband's ex-wife was the one who came up with the idea. And it seemed so hilarious to me that we teamed up and coordinated it.
I don't believe this. You are such a scumbag, Jack!
Yeah, I don't want to hear that from you. You're the one who decided to carry on an illicit affair rather than have the decency to divorce me.
But we're divorced now, aren't we? And you didn't know about my affair when I divorced you, so what's the problem?
Here's an opportunity to give you a legal lesson. It turns out that by law, I can still sue you for infidelity after our divorce as long as the infidelity was discovered within 3 years of the date our divorce was finalized. So, yeah, I can 100% sue you.
Really?
I'm sorry, did I foil your perfect plan? Did you think that you could get away with what you did scot-free as long as you divorced me before I found out? Well, it doesn't work that way, Zoe.
No. So, you're really gonna sue me? Like, for real?
Let me put it this way. You see the dollar amount on page 4 of the stack of papers I sent you? You should operate under the assumption that you're gonna have to pay me an amount pretty darn close to that.
Oh no. Well, whatever. Unlike you, my new man's the kind of guy who can pay for something like this with no trouble. I may have made a slight miscalculation, but it's not going to be that much of a problem.
Is that so?
Yeah, it is so. He's a big shot in a wedding consultancy company. His salary is way more than yours ever was or ever will be. He's got talent, ambition, money, power, the total package. Some low-tier nobody like you isn't even in the same universe as him.
Now I get it. I was kind of baffled by your parents' response to all this. I would have thought they'd tell you off when they found out about your affair, but no. They actually became accomplices in hiding it. I guess they were so thrilled about the prospect of gaining some wealthy guy as their new son-in-law that they made a terrible mistake.
Mistake? What are you talking about? This is totally the right move for me and them. It's a complete win for everyone. My husband's a big shot businessman. And starting today, I'm gonna live the spoiled and pampered lifestyle I deserve.
Hey, about that. I don't think your husband's gonna be any sort of big shot for much longer.
What? Why not?
Think about it. He's an executive in a wedding consultancy company, Zoe. If word gets out that one of the company execs was involved in a salacious affair, what effect do you think that would have on the company's business? Did you really think there wouldn't be any consequences at all for what you two did?
Wait, so he's gonna get fired?
You'll have to talk to him about that. I'm going by deduction here. I'm not privy to the internal workings of his company. It just seems like the most likely outcome would be a combination of demotion and pay cut, at least. I'd say him getting fired isn't totally out of the question either, though.
How can you be so relaxed about this? My lifestyle is on the line here.
Your lifestyle, not mine. As long as you pay whatever settlement we agreed on for my lawsuit, whatever happens to the two of you after that is none of my concern.
Hey, about that. I was looking at the papers and, well, there were a lot of zeros in the amount you're suing us for.
That shouldn't be a problem for your husband, right?
But...
You can talk about the finer details of the settlement with my lawyer, and he'll be contacting you soon. As for me, I no longer have any reason to speak to you, so anything you want to say to me, you can say to him.
Wait! I've been doing some thinking, and maybe getting divorced isn't such a good idea after all. What do you say, Jack? It's not too late for us, right? We can work things out. I get it, Jack. The reason you're suing me like this is to scare me into taking you back. You're still in love with me, and as long as those feelings are there, anything is possible. We can be a couple again. It'll be great. I'll be your devoted wife, and you can be my doting husband. I'll even think about not nagging you about your low salary anymore. Jack, are you there?
A few days after that last exchange, my lawyer told me that Zoe still wants to try to get back together with me. As I predicted, her husband got fired from his company after that, and she divorced him that very day. But like I said, her life isn't my problem anymore, so I told my lawyer to just ignore her and keep negotiating the settlement. As for me, I put in a transfer request to my company after the divorce was finalized, which was accepted. So I'll be moving across the state within the next few weeks. I also heard my sister's boyfriend propose to her the other day. He seems like a really upstanding guy, so I'm sure he'll take care of her. My lawyer finally reached a settlement with my wife and her new ex-husband yesterday, and they'll be starting monthly payments next week. Obviously, my ex-wife doesn't have that kind of money, so her parents are selling their house and borrowing the rest from relatives. The last I heard, they were all living together in a cheap one-room apartment and working day and night in order to make ends meet.
My name is Maya, that very cute girl you've probably seen before. You happen to be Kendra, right? Hey, would you give me an answer, please? Who are you again? Huh? I just told you my name a second ago. This is why I hate texting with old hags like yourself all the time. You all seem to have no idea how to frickin' read. First of all, I'm not sure who you are, Maya. In what ways are you related to me, if at all, that would have you texting me like that? Huh? God, what kind of annoying crap are you trying to pull here, you old hag? So this must make you younger than me by a bit? I am from Christian University and am a fourth-year student there. I also happen to be 21 years young. In other words, I'm a fun and outgoing college cutie still. So you're Maya from Christian University. I see. Now, would you mind telling me exactly what you want right now? All right, let me tell it to you straight. I want you to break things off with my da. Your da? What does that even mean? Are you trying to say your dad or your darling? Darling, duh! Okay. So then what you're getting at here is that you've been going out with my husband, and you would like for me to divorce him for you? That's right on the mark. And what merit is there for you to be taking my husband from me? Well, I could tell you that I am deeply in love with him and would like to make him my husband, but I also need him so that my life out of college is smooth sailing. And, well, what better way to make my life go by so easily than to start dating and soon marry the head of the company's HR department? The head of the HR department? Is that what you're after? Once I've entered the company, I won't have to do a single thing in order to make a paycheck. Can I just ask you about something, just for my mind's sake? What do you want to ask? Do you have any idea what you're doing telling the wife of the man you've been secretly going out with that he's been cheating on me? Oh, right. You probably want to talk about the settlement and all that. Well, that's totally fine. I'll also be willing to give you $50,000 for the divorce as a way of paying off any settlements. So you're assuming $50,000 will be good enough for me to feel comfortable with what's happened? Yep. And considering that he is so in love with me right now, I thought it would be nice to pay for him as well, hence the total being $50,000. I think that amount is very generous of me and will allow me to marry him after. Is that right? Just so that you're aware, I'm going to save this conversation for a later date, so please don't be upset if I take a few screenshots of it. What? Why do you want to do that? All you have to do is sign the divorce papers and everything will be over with. What's the point of taking pictures of this convo? I'm sorry to break it to you, but divorcing someone isn't as easy as it sounds. I have to make sure I have proof of the fact that my husband has been cheating on me so that this divorce goes off without a hitch. Also, in a divorce, there's things like splitting one another's properties and child support if the couple has kids. Plenty of other things, too, that have to be taken into account. So this is going to be very different than when you're just breaking up with your boyfriend or girlfriend. Well, I guess I'll leave all that in your hands. When it's time that I can go ahead and start filling out the marriage forms, please let me know and I'll get right on it. Huh? See you later! Gary, good morning. I'm on the train currently, so I can't call you right now about this.
Good morning, Kendra.
Have you already started to head to the office?
I actually just arrived here a second ago. Is there something you need from me?
Well, I have some information on one of the students from Christian University that's slated to join the company here soon. Would you be able to set some things up for her in advance for me?
Understood. Can I ask, though? Why do you need me to work on that now for you? Did you find something wrong about her that has led you to ask such a thing?
Well, Gary, there's a very high chance that a woman like her would not be a very good fit for this company. And considering that you are the head of the HR department, things will fall on your shoulders if things go sideways regarding her. So that's why I'm asking you to please prepare for her in advance.
Understood.
Also, I would like you, for the time being, to not bring this conversation we've just had up with anyone else until I say it's okay.
Why should I be doing that?
I just need this to remain between you and I for right now, so please just do as I've asked and I'll explain things in more detail later. I'll be out for a little bit now as I have a business meeting with one of our customers, and it won't finish up until a little bit after 11 today. Please keep a close eye on her from now on when she comes into the office.
Will do.
Hey, what's going on here? Why haven't you responded to me for the past few days now? Have you gotten anywhere in that divorce I asked you politely to deal with? I said that I'd be willing to give you $50,000 as part of the settlement for taking your husband from you. You should be so happy about that kind of money since you're nothing but a housewife and nothing else. Why are you not telling me anything, Kendra? You'd better get to it with that divorce while I'm still willing to give you this $50,000, all right? If you continue to try and resist, then I'm going to drop the amount I pay from $50,000 to just $5,000. Is that really what you want to have happen? You'll be letting $45,000 slip right through your fingers. Now, I suggest you hurry up and finish what's already been started. It's not like your husband loves you anymore anyway. Oh, and you better be completely divorced before I graduate college, or else there will be some serious hell to pay. After I've graduated and am married to him, I'll be able to get into that company with no questions asked and will never have to work a day in my life for my paycheck. Now, I really don't want you getting in the way of any of that plan I've made, so hurry it up already. Then consider this the end of that informal offer you were given. What? You freaking bitch! What the hell have you done? What is it you want now? My job offer from Mills Central was voided. Why did that happen? You don't have any idea why something like that would happen? I don't, and that's why I'm asking you right now. This is about you and the head of the HR department. Have any guesses what's happened there? All I know is that I told you to get a divorce from him so that I could get married to him and he would be able to let me have free reign inside the office. What does that have anything to do with the offer being voided? Well, let me tell you why, Maya. From what it sounds like, you wanted to get into this company, my company, so badly that you were willing to go and start a relationship with the head of the HR department in the hopes you'd get to marry him? What? Your company? Why would you call it your company when you don't even work there? Wait, could you be a part-timer there or something? Not a part-timer, per se, but I am working in this company. Oh, well, that's a little bit strange. From what I was being told by Wallace, his wife is a housewife and doesn't work at all. Well, the head of the HR department here is single. What? Just a few days ago, he was divorced by his wife. Huh? Wait, what are you talking about? Why are you saying that like you weren't his wife or something? Wait, so this means you guys have gotten that divorce then? Oh, perfect. Thank you very much for that. Maya, are you sure you're not forgetting anything right now? Forgetting what? Didn't you start texting me because of your informal job offer being voided? Oh, that's right. I was thinking about the strange way you were talking and the divorce. But now that you've already gone and divorced him, there's no reason for me to chat with you anymore. I'll go talk with Wallace and have him go into the system and have me placed back into the company so that I can get my job there still. No problem at all. Maya, do you really feel that you're going to want to work for Mills Central? You were just going on about how you planned to use the head of HR as an easy way to get into the company. And you said once that was accomplished, things would be smooth sailing for the rest of your life, right? What the heck are you thinking you're doing right now? You already know what I'm thinking about right now. I know that Mill Central is one of the highest paying companies in the state. It's very famous for that one reason. But because the company is paying everyone so well, they probably have a very rigorous hiring process and work environment, right? That's where I had an idea. By starting my internship at this company in the past year, I could use my time there between studying at school to get to know all the really high-up people in the company. You know, the department heads and the managers. I'm very, very young and pretty after all, so there's no telling how many of them I can lure in to give me a break. Not only has this past year shown that a lot of the managers there are really into me, but I should even be able to manipulate the CEO. Once I've gotten that far up in the company, then I can have all the higher-ups hand my work to everyone else, and I can just sit around and relax, right? No one will be able to get mad at me either for that, because I'll just have their bosses fire them on the spot for it. This is going to be so easy for me, and I'll be paid very well for it. That's my plan of attack, Kendra. So you think you can get even the CEO to fall into your hands? Considering I'm such a young girl who looks so beautiful, it'll be a piece of cake. Well, I'm sorry, but said cake doesn't even exist. Huh? Oh no. Now the old hag is going to get all jealous of me. Well, I can totally understand you getting all hurt by my plan now after having your husband abandon you over a little cutie like myself. But here's the thing that's really strange to me, Maya. All of you interns that we've had working here should have been informed 2 months ago that there was a new CEO elected to take over this company. What? A newly elected CEO? That's right. 2 months ago, the former CEO of my company ended up becoming very ill. Therefore, he stepped down from his position so that he could focus on his health more. And then a new CEO was elected to take his place. Huh? Well, that's not going to change what I'll be doing. I'll still make sure that that new CEO falls into my hands and does as I say. No, I really don't think you should even attempt something like that. Huh? I happen to be a straight woman, which means I'm only into men. What are you going on about? Why are you talking about what direction you point in when I'm talking about the CEO? That's because I'm the newly elected CEO who was brought in 2 months ago. Really? Is that who you think you are? Wait, what? In other words, I'm the one running Mill Central now. Huh? Wait, what the? For about the past 6 months now, the idea of having that offer voided was already in the talks. Back when you took the company entrance exam, you completely bombed it by not even filling out the Scantron sheet. You just filled in the bubbles in a way that spelled, I'm in. Wait, no way. You're the CEO now? There is one other thing we must talk about here, and that's about the misunderstanding you still seem to have. I've never been married before, which means I was not the wife of our head of HR. What? But in his smartphone, there was a contact labeled Kendra, my wife, okay? That's why I was always asking you to divorce him for our sakes. That seems to have just been the wish that he had. His wish? There were a lot of times where he would flirt with me in the office before I became the CEO, and it seemed as though he really wanted to get with me. What? Which is just gross, considering he was married at the time. And even when there were talks about me becoming the next CEO, he still kept that inappropriate behavior up. Well, it seems he's a lot like you, isn't he? I think when he heard about me becoming the next CEO, he tried even harder while flirting with me to make me his new woman, because he wanted to do the same thing as you. Become involved with the CEO romantically so that he could have free reign in the company. You see what I mean? What? Well, now that you've been able to catch up on everything, let's talk about how you won't be working in my company. You failed that entrance exam, and now your offer has been officially voided. And even had you passed the exam and the offer was not yet voided, there'd be no way for me to allow your hiring considering what you just told me. You'd become a major liability here. And as for the head of HR, Wallace, we had him removed from this company. He was removed? He continued to hit on me inappropriately at work and was also having a secret relationship with one of the interns, you. So he had to go and was replaced by someone far more reliable. Anyhow, you've been given that same fate and will not be working here either. Your offer has been voided and we will no longer have you working for us as an intern. I was only given an offer from Mills Central. So, and I'm just about to graduate from college. I see. Well, then that leaves you with only a month or so to find yourself a company that will be willing to hire you soon. Do your best, and hopefully now you know that you can't just force your way into a company by manipulating those in charge. What? I'm also going to warn you that there will be a settlement coming soon for you from the ex-wife of the ex-head of HR, Wallace. What? I wish you the best of luck with your future, young lady. Wait, Kendra! That settlement, and the fact that I won't get any use out of Wallace anymore, I don't have as much money as you think. I'm just a college student and haven't even been working part-time to save any money up. How am I supposed to pay a settlement? Are you really saying that I'll have to pay his ex-wife for sleeping with him? That's how things work in the real world. That's why I'm wishing you the best of luck right now, as you're going to need a lot of it. Now, I'll be going, Maya. Wait a second. Are you really being serious about all of that? I was just taking things easy in school, passing with the minimum scores, thinking that I'd get into a company with my looks and never actually have to work. That's why I spent so much time during this last year flirting with all those higher-ups. Why is something like this happening to me? My life was supposed to be smooth sailing after I graduate. For starters, the ex-head of the HR department, Wallace, was officially dismissed from the company today and is now no longer on the payroll. The dismissal also came without a package, and his only option was to file for federal unemployment. He also will end up having to pay his ex that settlement she's asked for, wiping out all of his savings and most likely putting him into some debt. And after 2 weeks had passed, I heard about how Maya was forced to drop out of college last minute by her parents, because she wasn't even expected to graduate with the grades she had. Her last-ditch effort was making a relationship with someone inside my company and having them hire her, no questions asked. But since that plan of hers didn't work out at all for her in the end, she's now back at her parents' house working on their farm. There was also a settlement asked for from her by Wallace's ex-wife, so she'd have to pay that off. Her working on her parents' farm was not making her enough money to pay off that settlement in time, and since she didn't have a good enough credit score or anything to get a loan, she had to get another job. That being a factory job where she now works the night shift for 12 hours before coming home to work all day on the farm. That still wasn't enough for her though, so on weekends she's working part-time at a small supermarket down the road as well to make that extra little bit she badly needs. Because she has begun to work so many hours and only has time off to get about 5 or 6 hours of sleep, she's started to pick up the nickname hardly working by a lot of the people she's around, after they heard about how she ended up in that position. Who knows how long she'll have to hear that name for, but it'll probably stick to her until the faraway day comes that she can move out of there. But while she's still there having to work so hard, the number one thing I hope she takes away is an understanding of how the real world works, and that there is no such thing as smooth sailing for any of us.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.